This week we are talking about games. Like we're talking about how we got into gaming, specifically because I feel like there's a difference between what got you into games versus like what was your first game. Like your first game may not necessarily have gotten you into games. Like I know for me personally, I played my first game was some SNES game, probably like Power Rangers or some shit, and it was like some weird thing that I felt like I could have stopped at any time. Like I played a lot of games as a kid, but it felt like a thing that you just did because you are a kid. And then like a few years down the line, my cousin introduced me to this game that he had spent pretty much the whole summer. Like I went to visit my cousin in New Orleans, and he spent the entire summer trying to be like, I'm trying to find this one game. And he would go to like different Walmarts in New Orleans. We'd go this Walmart, that Walmart, Toys R Us. We go to Babbage's, KB Toys, like all them places, trying to find this one game. And then he finally got it, and he finally put it in his console, his Super Nintendo. It was Super Mario RPG, and that like changed the world of gaming for me. Like because before that, it was just like these cute little things. Like oh, okay, you go across the screen, you finish the stage, you go on to the next stage. Your princess is at another castle, whatever the fuck. And I like lost. I like it was cute, but it wasn't something that could catch me because I've always been interested in stories. And in Super Mario RPG showed me like a story. Like it showed me like okay, this is it could be like a whole world, a whole universe. It could be something more than just like some basic, whatever. Like it's all about the gameplay. And I know these days that that's like a big discussion, story versus gameplay. We might get into that in another episode. But I like for me, like the story was what made it. And from there on, I was like addicted to RPGs. I was addicted to video games. And even to this day, like that's the game that I like when I think about video games. I'm still mad that instead of getting Super Mario RPG 2, we got like fucking Paper Mario. But I mean, like, what can you do? But that was the game that made me into who I am. And without that, and then I guess secondarily, Final Fantasy 7. And I think I'm not alone in that. Like a lot of people would say Final Fantasy 7 was, if not their first game, the game that got them into games. Because it was just so defining. Like it was such a defining experience for people when they played it. They were like, "Oh snap! It could be like this," and like the whole world, like the way that they told that story, the struggle against like Shinra and Sephiroth and all it, Sephiroth, whatever. Like the struggle against Sephiroth like was crazy, and so like the even like the different summons you could do. Like I know everybody here still remembers Bahamut Zero, where the dude came up into the sky above the planet and shot down a laser and blew up everything, and somehow you were still alive. But I know everybody remembers that. I know everybody remembers Knights of the Round Table, where you could just like cast a spell, and it was like long enough for you could go get up and fix a sandwich for yourself and come back, and the dude's still getting beat up, taking hella damage from all these different knights whooping up on him and shit. But yeah, like those were the two games that made me into a gamer, and without those I definitely wouldn't be interested in the medium at all.